Line's good.
Never on.
Whoa.
Hard. Hardly.
Come on, Brent. Line's good. Got real close. The hair high, right? Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham. Scott alongside, as always. Hello, Scott.
Sean, I have something for you. I started doing this in my team meetings, and I don't think anybody likes it, but I have Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to pull a card. You're going to have to give me an answer.
All right. Nobody likes this in your team meetings?
No, and maybe I just have been overestimating their intelligence, but to be fair, the game was published, I think, before almost all of them were born.
Okay, so this is the Genus edition?
Yes, Genus edition from, I think, 1980.
Okay, all of my guesses are going to be countries that no longer exist.
Okay, we'll do the whole card, okay?
Okay.
Where is Darjeeling tea grown?
China?
India. Who played the title role on TV's My Little Margie?
Mary Tyler Moore.
Gale Storm. What were millions of kids wearing on their heads in 1955?
In 1955. The Mickey ears? Because isn't that when Disneyland opened?
No, sorry. I was trying to give you a clue by whistling, but it is a Davy Crockett coonskin cap. Where did Evil Eye Fleagle, General Bull Moose, and Tobacco Rhoda all live?
Like, is this a country, a city?
It's arts and leisure is the category.
Oh. So a fictional town somewhere in the West.
Yeah, you're not going to get it. It's the Dog Patch.
Yeah, no.
Okay, what's the name of the point at which condensation begins?
The dew point?
Hey, there you go. And what's the crucial card in the game Hearts?
The Queen of Spades.
You got it, Sean.
Yes.
2 out of 6. Better than my whole team did. So good for you. How's it going?
Nice. Pretty good. Scotties is on. We always like that. This is actually a pretty good intro, Scott, because the Scotties is in full force and there's so many games and it's kind of hard to do a show and get it out while it's still relevant before more games are played. We're going to play Scotties Trivia.
Hey, that's I knew we were doing that, so that was kind of a good warm-up.
Yeah, so I've come up with a game for you to play, Scott, and I invite everybody to play along and try to beat Scott. There are 45 points available in this game. Don't worry, there are not 45 questions. There are just 45 points that are available here in the game. And there are 4 different categories. Scott, here are the categories, and I'm going to go in ascending order of available points.
So fewer points to more points. Got it.
Yes. So the first category is going to be provincial representation.
Good.
That's going to be worth 5 big points.
Okay, 5 points. Let's get into it.
I think it might be the easiest one. Second category is going to be potpourri, everyone's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be worth 10 points. And then another 10 points is going to be available in the event category. This is really about hosting.
Okay.
And then the pièce de résistance, where you can make up points, it's going to be progressive. Name that champion.
Ooh, okay.
And that'll be worth 20 points will be available, as there are 4 champions, and there will be 5 clues per champion. Obviously, if you get on the first clue, 5 points, second clue, 4 points, so on and so forth. So that is the structure of the game. That is the order in which, the points that are available. Scott, I would say, based on the points available and my assessment of what the difficulty level is, I might start with the, what did I say?
The easiest one.
Yeah, the 5.1.
Champions.
Yes, the provincial representation category.
Yes.
That's worth 5 points, but I will let you pick out of those 4 categories.
No, let's do it that way. Let's go ascending order, provincial representation.
All right. So this has 5 questions in the category, 1 point per question.
Okay.
Question number 1. Scott, Northern Ontario was added to the Scotties in 2015. Based on the club where the team played, how many titles would Northern Ontario have if they had always been their own entry?
Ooh. So that Heather Houston's team. So this is if they had won as Team Canada too, right?
Correct.
That's the only one I'm thinking of. So I'm going to say 2.
All right. 2 is the answer that Scott is giving, and 2 is correct.
Hey now.
So, Scott, you get 1 point on the provincial representation. That's a great start, Scotty.
I was right. It was the 2 Heather Houston teams.
Yep, the 2 Heather Houston wins. That are the 2 for Northern Ontario.
Very good.
As talked about with Laura Frigette, they claim it there in Northern Ontario. So
good.
Yeah. All right. Scott, Team Canada has the most titles with 12. But Canada does not have the most podium appearances. Team Canada has 26 podium appearances. Which province has the most podium appearances with 34, including a record 14 silver medals?
Wow, 14 silver medals. So I'm between Manitoba and Ontario. And this is all Scotties, right? So it's since 1980 or whenever Scotty.
So, unless otherwise specified, this is women's national championships.
Okay.
So since 1960.
Okay. That might change things a bit. But I know that Ontario has won a lot of silver medals. And Manitoba has won a lot of gold medals. Podium finishes. Yeah, Ontario hasn't won a lot. They've been on the podium a lot. I'm just going to go a little safer and say Manitoba.
So you're guessing Manitoba. You're answering Manitoba. I should say guessing. That was a well thought out process. The answer is Manitoba.
All right. Let's go.
Yes. The 34 is Manitoba. They are tied for second place with 11 championships and the 14 silvers. The other province that is tied for second place with 11 championships is Saskatchewan with 11.
All right.
So there's no province that has the standalone lead as a province with titles. Those are the 2 that are tied.
Yeah, we'll tell Saskatchewan that.
Yes. All right. Similarly, Scott, similar vein here. As I mentioned, Team Canada has 12 titles. Based on the curling club where the team played out of which the team played, which province has the most titles as Team Canada?
Okay. So let's think, Sean, about the teams who have won as Team Canada. Obviously, Carrie Anderson won 3. I don't know. So won a lot as Team Canada. Jennifer Jones won quite a bit as Team Canada. And I think if you add the 2 of those up, you're already at half. At worst, 5. Then I think about Sandra Schmirler won as Team Canada. Rachel Holman has won as Team Canada. Kelly Scott has won as Team Canada. And so because we're getting into more and more provinces here, I'm going to have to guess Manitoba as the one who won the most as Team Canada.
And you are correct. Manitoba has won the most as Team Canada. They have 5.
So it was 5.
Yeah, 3 by Carrie Anderson, 2 by Jennifer Jones. Second place is actually Nova Scotia, the 3 by Colleen Jones, and they're 4 in a row. Ontario has 2. Heather Houston and Rachel Homan. Saskatchewan is one. That is Sandra Schmerler, and Kelly Scott with BC is the other.
There you go.
And of course, Vera Pezzer won 2 in a row, but that was pre-Team Canada having entry into the event.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Teams representing Manitoba are a remarkable 415 and 228. And not including wild cards, have a winning record against every other province except one. Name the province against which Team Manitoba has a losing record.
Wow, this is a hard one, Sean, because there's like, I don't know. Can I think of like, who do they struggle against? Well, they don't really struggle. You see, like you just said, their winning percentage is like what, 600, 700?
Yeah, 650.
I didn't write the numbers down. So which province against which? So if I think about, okay, well, they're tied with Saskatchewan for the most titles. I think the logic is going to lead me to guess against Team Saskatchewan that they have a losing record. Final answer.
All right. That's a well thought out guess, but it is wrong. You're first incorrect of the game, Scott. The answer is Alberta. They are 29 and 33 against teams representing Alberta.
Interesting. Yeah. So Alberta would have been my next guess.
Yeah.
But, you don't get 2 shots.
Not in this game. No.
Yeah.
Well, except for one question, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
All right, Scott. Final question in provincial representation. Not including wild cards or Team Canada, Northwest Territories, since its entry as its own territory in 2015, has a winning record against 5 provinces, which is kind of remarkable to me and something I would not have guessed.
Yeah.
For a full point, name 3 of the 5 provinces. And you get one wrong, you're out.
Oh, and I get one wrong, I'm out?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
there's other questions where you'll have strikes, or one other question where you'll have strikes, but not this one.
Okay. So I think Nunavut is one.
Sorry, excuse me. Provinces. This is like specific to provinces.
So this is only since Northwest Territories became its own entry, but doesn't include the other territories that are their own entries.
Correct.
Oh, brother. Okay. So,
I mean, it's half of the provinces.
Yeah. So I'll start with our friends on the East Coast and say Newfoundland, Labrador.
Correct. 3-1 record against Newfoundland and Labrador.
Beautiful. Next up, I'll say Nova Scotia.
No, that is incorrect. They have a losing record against Nova Scotia. Scott, you had to think about who's representing Northwest Territories. Carrie Galusha. Who does Carrie Galusha always beat?
Rachel Homan.
Yeah. Winning record against Ontario, 3-2. 2-1 record against Alberta. New Brunswick, 2-1. Saskatchewan, 2-1. Newfoundland and Labrador, 3-1.
Yeah, Sean, I was thinking about, would they have played these teams every time, right? Yeah. And then, okay, like, right. They obviously don't play every team anymore. So having only 3 games against some provinces is, since 2015, is a bit skewed. So full guilt on that one. I plead it.
That was a tough question. I think that was a tough question.
Yeah.
All right.
I had 2 easy points, Sean. I had Yukon and Nunavut, but
yeah. All right, Scott. So that's 3 out of 5 on the provincial representation category. So next up, we have 2 categories that have 10 points each. We have potpourri and the hosting category, the event/hosting category. Both have 10. and then you have Name That Champion for 20 available points. Where do you want to go next?
Oh, let's keep going. Actually, no, let's go to the sites, the hosting
sites. So the event/hosting category. Scott, there are 10 points available in this category. Question number 1. From the introduction of the Women's National Championship in 1960, 2 cities are tied for hosting the most Scotties with 4 apiece. What are those 2 cities?
So I'm thinking of the banner, Sean. They hang the banner in the rafters, and it's got the name of the city and then the date beside which they've hosted 4 times each. And I know also that the Women's National Championship has been held in traditionally smaller cities than the Men's Championship. And so I got 2 in my head, Sean. I'm going to say Brandon, Manitoba.
So that's one guess.
Does it include this year?
It's 2 points, right? It's 2 points.
Okay. Does it include this year where the Thunder Bay will get it for the 3rd time in 4 years? And that will make it 4 times, I think.
The answer is the same if you include Thunder Bay this year.
Okay. That didn't really help me.
So yes.
Thunder Bay.
You can account for Thunder Bay this year, 2025, as part of your consideration.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure because they hosted it 2 years ago, and they hosted it when nobody could go.
That was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago.
I thought they already had their makeup one.
No, this year is the makeup one.
Oh, was it something was canceled in Thunder Bay?
Well, so I'm going to sort of cheat here. The answer is not Thunder Bay.
Okay, thank you.
One of the answers is not Thunder Bay. So they had it in 2022, right? And nobody could go during the week, limited attendance during the playoffs. And so this is the makeup for that. They might have been scheduled to have it in 21, but that doesn't count because that one officially is in the books as Calgary in 2021 in the bubble. So I cannot remember if it was announced or planned that 2021 was going to be in Thunder Bay and then they switched it to the bubble or not. But the event did not happen in Thunder Bay. So if that is the case, that doesn't count.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure it was. That's where I was getting the 4 from.
Okay.
All right. All this stalling. I've said Brandon. I'm torn between a couple, Sean. I'm thinking of Alberta cities. I know Grand Prairie has hosted Worlds before and Scotties. I'm 90% sure on Scotties. Kamloops is always a good choice. Kamloops or Kelowna. For some reason, I've got Hamilton in my head as well. And Swift Current, Saskatchewan. I'm trying to get a read off your face if I've said anything. Let's go with Swift Current.
You're going with Swift Current, a city that has never hosted the Women's National Championship. Really? No, that's a World Championship city, Swift Current, not
of course,
not a Scotties city, of course. And Scott, actually, as I sort of fact checked myself here, there's a third city that is actually eligible here. So I will give you. Actually, no, both your answers are wrong because Brendan's wrong as well.
Hamilton,
no, Hamilton's never hosted it.
Uh-oh. What?
So,
what about that one in 2002?
Let me see.
Was it Kitchener?
I got the whole list here. Let's see. 2002, Sudbury 2001, Kitchener 2003.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of Kitchener. Anyway.
Yeah, 2002 was actually in Brandon though. So there you go.
So I did know that it had been somewhere.
Yeah. Kamloops has only hosted it once. as has Grand Prairie. But there are actually 3. I had 2 on my board, but there's a third. They are Regina, 1962, 1982, 1998, 2008, Charlottetown, 1973, 1984, 1999, and 2011. And of course, Scott, Calgary, 1970, 1998, 2021, and 2024.
That 2021, I don't know if that should count, but
it was in Calgary.
Yeah, but I was thinking along the lines of smaller cities, and that is what really threw me off. Bad job by me.
All right, so incorrect on the first one. I should have had the third city, but hey, there you go. All right, Scott, there are 10, this is provinces again. There are 10 provinces in this beautiful country of ours, which means there are 10 provincial capitals. 8 provincial capitals have hosted a women's national championship. Which 2 provincial capitals have never hosted the Canadian Women's Curling Championship?
Oh boy. That's my oh boy. So the one that stands out immediately is Toronto, in that Curling Canada doesn't do events there. Now, maybe they did those events before I was born, and I don't know about that. So Toronto is the one that I'm thinking off the top of my head. You already mentioned Regina, so I know they hosted.
Yep.
You already mentioned Charlottetown, so I know they hosted. I feel like pretty confident that Fredericton has hosted. St. John's probably. I'm trying to think about Victoria. Probably as well.
Now you're just naming capitals and saying the word probably after each of them.
Isn't it impressive I know them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was in second grade, it would be impressive. All right. So Winnipeg, sure, it's hosted it. I'm going to guess, Sean, Toronto is one that hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel good about it, but I'll say Quebec City.
So your answers are Toronto and Quebec City, the provincial capitals of the 2 most populous provinces in Canada. And you are correct. Hey, Toronto and Quebec City have not hosted a Scotties Tournament of Hearts or a Canadian Women's Championship. There have been 3 in Quebec, 2 in Montreal, 1 in Mount Royal. In Ontario.
Mount Royal is Montreal.
Well, they specify Mount Royal on the official statistics.
You know what? You're right. They are their own town. They don't like to be lumped in. But
yeah,
come on.
14 times in Ontario, Ottawa twice, but never in Toronto. In the GTA with Kitchener, St. Catharines, I guess you call the GTA, Waterloo.
No way, man.
What?
They don't call it Kitchener the GTA.
Okay, fine. In the K-Dub?
Yeah.
What about St. Catharines?
Give them their flowers. No way. St. Catharines is
Golden Horseshoe.
Yeah. Golden Horseshoe. They're past Hamilton. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So what? Just so nowhere in the GTA then?
No.
Okay. Never in the GTA, according to Scott. All right. So that is a point for you,
Back
Scott.
on the board, baby.
Back on the board. Go. Total of 4 points so far. Let's go to question 3 in the host category. Total Scotties.
Sorry, Sean. I didn't get 2 points for that, for getting both of them.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, you did. That was a 2-point question. Thank you for correcting me. Scott, this is a 3-point question.
Okay.
Total Scotties attendance has topped 100,000 3 times since 1982. Which cities topped the 100,000 mark? And they're 3 different cities.
Okay. I'm starting to write things down now because I'm getting confused.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess that Calgary has to be one of them because those fans show out. Similarly, I'll say Winnipeg and make it a prairie trifecta and go for Regina as number 3.
Okay, so your 3 answers, Scott, are Regina, Calgary, and Winnipeg. Out of 3 available points to you, you've got 1 big point. Do you want to take a guess? This is not worth a point, but which of those cities do you think is correct?
I think Calgary is correct.
No, it's actually Regina. 154,688. The attendance in 1998. That is the all-time record for the Scotties. Second place goes to Red Deer in 2004, 112,886. And third place is London in 2006 with 105,065. Red Deer actually has fourth place as well, 96,590 in 2012.
Wow. Good job, Red Deer.
Yeah. All right. Question number 4 in the hosting category. Scott, each province, again, province, the territories has never hosted one, but each province has hosted the events since it has been sponsored by Kruger, which started in 1982. But only one province has not hosted a Scotties Tournament of Hearts in the 21st century. So since the year 2000.
Oh.
Scott, for 1 point, name that province.
Okay. I can't go back and like Survivor seasons. I could like think of, okay, where was this one? Where was this one? I can't do that for this question, but I feel like it's been a minute since the Scotties has been in St. John's. I know when the Briar went back there, it seemed to me like it was the first time in a while that they had been to Newfoundland.
So you're talking the 2017 Briar.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I'm trying to think if there was ever a year where I was like, oh man, I have to watch on the half hour because of some time zone thing.
Right.
And that's the one that's my gut. And, trivia players, Sean, you always think like, go with your gut. So I'll just go with that and say Newfoundland, Labrador.
Newfoundland and Labrador. Scott, you were right that in 2017, it had been a while since St. John's had hosted an event, but it had only been 12 years since St. John's had hosted an event. The Scotties was there in 2005. The last time, though, that our friends in New Brunswick hosted a women's national championship was all the way back in 1988 in Fredericton.
Wow. Well, I think it's about time.
Yeah.
About time to go back.
Yeah. So New Brunswick certainly overdue.
Yeah, definitely. I guess like between the points bet being in Fredericton, there's like a Worlds that was in Fredericton, like mixed doubles or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just had Fredericton in mind from those events, but it wasn't a Scotties.
All right, Scott, last question here in the hosting category. 35 cities have hosted a women's national championship. Within 2, how many cities have only hosted the women's national championship once? And so here's how the points are going to work. There's a total of 2 points available. If you get the number dead on, I will give you 2 points. If you are within a range of 6, so 3 above, 3 below, I will give you 1.
Okay, so this is since 1960?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So out of the 35 cities that have hosted, how many have only hosted the once?
So let's use a little bit of math and logic here. So since 1960, the first one, it's 2025. That means that there's 64 championships that have taken place. 65 that have taken place because 60 counts. 35 cities have hosted. if they all had hosted twice,
mm-hmm.
then that would be too many. So obviously the most that could have hosted twice is 32. This is my math logic, but
okay.
So would be the maximum number of cities that had hosted twice.
Yeah.
Which means at least 3 cities have for sure only hosted once.
Okay.
What we found out earlier
mm-hmm.
is that 3 cities have hosted 4 times.
Correct.
So if 3 cities have hosted 4 times and 3 cities have hosted 1 time, that's 15 total times out of 7 cities. That means 28 cities are left over.
Okay.
For a maximum of 50 events.
Okay.
Of those 28, again, not all of them could have hosted. So I'm adding another 3 to my for sure only once.
Sure.
So I'm at 6 right now.
Okay.
Then we talked about Thunder Bay having hosted 3 times.
Correct.
So I'll remove them from that 25. So, okay, so I've got 6 for sure have hosted only once.
Okay.
24 have hosted either 2 or 3 times, maybe. So I have to whittle this number 24 down somehow. And I think the easiest way to do this, you said plus or minus 6, right?
Correct. Or plus or minus 3. So a range of 6.
Oh, a range of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm just going to do, because math on podcast is boring, I'm just going to cut it in half and then add the 6, which will give me 18. I could have just cut the whole thing in half. But I don't know if that would be the right answer. No,
so
my final answer, Sean, is 16 cities.
16 cities that have only hosted once out of the 35 cities that have hosted. Scott, that is going to be good for 1 point. You were very close to 2.
If I had picked 18, would I have gotten the 2?
You would not. You still would have gotten 1 point, though, because the answer was 15.
15.
Yes. So now your mileage might vary on this one, Scotty, because they consider Fort William its own place. So Fort William, 1969, Waterloo, 1994, Sudbury, 2001, Kitchener, 2003, Kingston, 2013, St. Catharines, 2017, Grand Prairie, 2016, Kelowna, 1989, Penticton, 2018, Kamloops, 2023, Sydney, 2019, Mount Royal, 1979, St. John, 1963, Moncton, 1975, and Fredericton, 1988.
So I'm not going to argue because I got the point, but
you would have lost the point if Mount Royal we count as Montreal.
Yeah.
If Fort William we count as Thunder Bay. Yeah.
Kitchener and Waterloo are the same place. Come on, man.
Don't tell that to KW people, especially the W people who want the K dropped.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So good. I got another point.
So you get 1 point on that. So out of the 10, Scott, I have you as 4 points there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so you have 7 points overall.
Okay.
As we head into again, your choice. It's either potpourri for 10 or name that champion for 20.
Let's do potpourri, and I'll do it as a lightning round.
Okay.
First instinct.
All right, Scott. Question 1. Multiple teams have swept the first team All-Stars over the years, but only one team has done it once. For 1 point, which team has swept the first team All-Stars multiple times?
Rachel Homan.
Incorrect. It is Jennifer Jones, who has done it twice, 2011 and 2012.
Dadgummit.
Question number 2. The record for most playoff games played belongs to Jennifer Jones with 37. Which player, though, holds the record for the most playoff games wearing a single jersey and is the only player in double-digit playoff games who has only played under one banner.
Not including Team Canada, just...
Yes, correct. Just one association for all their playoff games. Only person with double-digit playoff appearances who has only played under one association, including Team Canada.
Wow. I know I said lightning round, but now I'm just blanking on people who have only played in one association.
And been successful.
And yeah, exactly.
To get 15 playoff games, yeah.
And like I was thinking maybe Krista McCarville, but she played under Ontario. So that's not right.
Correct. You are correct that is incorrect.
Yes. Give me Marie-France Larouche.
Oh, good guess. Good guess, but no. Not enough playoff appearances for Marie-France Larouche. You were actually on the right track with Krista McCarville, as Kendra Lilly has only played as Northern Ontario.
Oh, okay.
15 playoff games for Kendra Lilly. But yes, Krista McCarville has made the playoffs as Team Ontario. But yeah, that
yeah, and I was only thinking skips, but you didn't say that in the question.
I did not know.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. 8 women, this is for 3 points. 8 women have played all 4 position at a Scotties Tournament of Hearts. I will give you 1 point for each player you can name, and I will give you 3 strikes on this.
Okay. Colleen Jones.
Colleen Jones is incorrect. That is strike number 1.
Really? Wow. I was like most sure about Colleen Jones. So, Jan Betker.
Jan Betker, not on the list.
Oh, man. Can you give me a hint, Sean?
You were on the right track with the Colleen Jones sort of
team.
So
yeah, Marianne Arsenault was one I wrote down.
Yeah, Marianne Arsenault is correct. That is a point. I'll give you another clue because this is a very, very hard question. This is you've named this person already.
I've named this person already?
Yeah, this person was already an answer to a question.
Oh, man. I'm forgetting all the questions that we had.
It was an answer that you gave.
Yeah. When?
Recently.
McCarville?
No. Marie-France Larouche is actually on the list.
Oh, Larouche. Okay.
Yes. The other people on this list: Sharon Cormier from the Northwest Territories.
Yes.
Kathy Gallant.
Okay.
Don Moses, also from Northwest Territories, Yukon. Donna Scott from the Territories. Chris Jurgensen, Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia. And Scott, Georgina Wheatcroft.
Is
the
Georgina
other
Wheatcroft.
one. Yeah. So that was I think that was a very hard question.
That was very hard with a lot of people from the Territories. So 1 point I got?
Yeah, 1 point out of a possible 8 there.
Out of a possible 8. Oh, I didn't know it was out of 8.
I said 1 point for every person you name.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Scott, next question. Actually, potpourri would have been worth 11 if you'd gotten all 8, but hey. All right, Scott.
Here we are.
Within 2 years, so if you get this, you know what? I'm in a generous mood. If you get this spot on, I'll do the same thing. I'll give you 2 points for on the number and 1 point within 2 years. So 4-year range, 2 plus, 2 down.
Yeah.
Within 2 years, what is the longest period between Scotties appearances? And I will tell you that it's Margaret Cutcliffe who holds that record. Longest time between Scotties appearances.
Margaret Cutcliffe.
Correct.
And is Scotties appearances or Canadian Women's Championships?
This is actually Scotties.
Okay. Well, we all know that Colleen Jones famously had 16 or 18 years between championships, but not between appearances.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say 21 years.
21 years. That is incorrect. That is also not within 4.
Too big?
Too big, Scott. Margaret Cutcliffe went 30 years in between her Scotties Tournament of Hearts appearances, appearing in 1987 and 2017 for Team Nova Scotia. Second place on this list, Scott, is actually our friend Lori Eddy, 1997 to 2020.
Wow, that would have been a good guess.
Yeah, I would have given you that just for fun.
Cool.
All right, Scott, last question in Potpourri. The record for the most times winning the Sportsmanship Award is 5. Who holds that record?
Carrie Galusha.
Ooh, very good guess. Carrie Galusha has won 3 times the Sportsmanship Award. The record of 5 Sportsmanship Awards goes to... It's her world, and we're just living in it, Scott. It's Sherry Anderson is the all-time record for Sportsmanship's Award. That was a very tough category, I will freely admit.
Sean, if you had framed it with a clue title of "We're living in her world," or put it in the like Jeopardy style, they put a little hint for you, I would have got that. But no, I knew Galusha had won it multiple times, so I thought let's go for that. But c'est la vie.
All right, so that's 1 point there. All right, so Scott, you have 8 points.
Bloodbath
right now. Again, I think I prefaced this was going to be a very difficult quiz to this point. But now, Scott, here is where you can make up all the points. Now, I did try to make the initial clues extraordinarily difficult on this one. But I have 4 champions, and this is progressive. So there are 5 clues in total. If you guess on the first one, you lock in that answer worth 5 points. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be nice because this is a very hard quiz. I will let you change your guess if you want to attempt for 5 or 4, whatever, but I will only let you do that once in the 5 clues. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Champion people, right? Or teams?
Yes. People.
And it's any position.
Yes. I will say that I don't think I picked anybody obscure.
Okay.
I don't think.
But not necessarily skips. Okay.
Correct. All right. Name that champion person number 1 for 5 points. Including appearances as a 5th, my 7th and final Scotties came exactly 20 years after my debut.
Okay. Next clue, please.
All right. For 4 points, in addition to my 2 Scotties titles, I also won a Canadian Junior Championship as a skip. Curiously, all 3 of my World Championship appearances were in Canada, where I won the World Junior Championship. Excuse me. I'm going to start that over. In addition to my 2 Scotties wins, I also won a Canadian Junior Championship as a skip. Curiously, all 3 of my World Championship appearances were in Canada, and where I won the World Junior Championship was also the site of my most recent Scotties title.
Okay, I'm going to say Kelly Scott, but keep going because I might change it.
Okay. So your 4-point guess is Kelly Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. The 3-point clue. My 2 Scotties victories saw me playing 2 different positions with 2 last names. My maiden name and my married name.
Okay. So I'm probably going to change it. But keep going.
For 2 points. In addition to my own victories, my husband is a legendary player and champion, and my daughter is now playing at a high level, having appeared in national level events.
It's Heather Nedwin.
So you are going to lock in, because I'm not going to let you change anymore, at 2 points for Heather Nedwin.
Yeah.
All right.
Guthberson. No. Anyway,
Godberson, I think.
Godberson.
Final clue. Explicit warning on people, because the last clue I tried to come up with a quote that is good for each person. So for 1 point, shitballs.
Holy forking shirt balls.
Yeah. So, Scott, you are correct. The answer is Heather Nedowin. 2 points for you.
Great.
All right. Next, name that player. I won the first Scotties Tournament of Hearts after the change in name from Scott Tournament of Hearts to Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Wow.
If you can remember when that happened. No?
I cannot.
Okay. For 4 points. All of my Scotties appearances were out of one province, including when I played as Team Canada. Even though I won the Canadian Junior and World Champion and World Junior Championship playing out of a different province.
Yeah, I'm going to say Kelly Scott this time.
Okay. So
maybe I'll just always say it.
Always say Kelly Scott.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in at 4 points for Kelly Scott.
Yeah.
All right. 3-point clue. When I won the World Championship, I became the first woman to win both the World Junior and World Women's Championship.
I'm still good.
Okay. For 2 points, including games as Team Canada, I have skipped the most games of any skip from British Columbia.
Yeah, I'm staying.
And for 1 point, 11.5, Sasha.
Good.
So, yes, that is Kelly Scott. 4 points, Scott.
Nice. Okay, now I know she's impressive. Not happening again, so I won't guess her again.
All right. For 5 points, I played with Gina Schrader. All right. For 5 points, counting Olympics, Worlds, Olympic trials, and Scotties, I have 10 gold medals on my, shelf.
Okay. Jennifer Jones is my guess. No. Jill Officer is my guess.
All right. So you're going to guess at 5 points for Jill Officer.
Yeah.
Okay. 4-point clue. My first Scotties appearance was at a different position from which I am best known for playing.
Okay, keep going.
3-point clue. I threw the rock that was used by Jennifer Jones on her famous in-off to win the 2005 Scotties.
Damn, Don McEwen.
So you're switching at 3 points to Don McEwen.
Yeah.
All right. The 2-point clue is I have played the most games as a lead at the Scotties.
Yeah.
And the 1-point clue, as I said, it's a quote from the person. So here's the quote. Yeah, because I don't know if Don McEwen was ever really said anything on the mic in the games.
Yeah. Dang. It was between her and Jill Officer, and I picked the wrong one at 5.
Yeah. So you have 3 points on that one. I think you're doing pretty well in this round.
Yeah, not bad.
All right. Final person, and name that champion.
Let's go.
I was inducted into the Canadian Curling Hall of Fame in 2000. 2 years before I was inducted into the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame.
Okay. Keep going.
For 4 points, my 3 Scotties championships came playing lead for my sister.
Oh, man. Keep going.
For 3 points, I was part of the first Jennifer Jones controversial lineup switch midway through the 2006-2007 season, replacing Dana Allerton.
Is it Kathy Gauthier?
So you're going to guess Kathy Gauthier at 3 points?
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
The 2-point clue. After playing with Jennifer Jones, I coached the team, including at the 2014 Winter Olympic Games.
Next clue, please.
The 1-point clue. This is a quote associated with this person. What do you like, Jan?
What do you like, Jan?
Yeah. It's not a quote from the person herself. If that
What's
helps.
That?
It's not something the person said themselves. But it's something I always think about when I think of this individual.
Yeah. Joan McCusker?
No, you're incorrect. It's
Janet
Arnott.
Janet Arnott. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Whenever she came out on timeouts, Jen would just be like, "What do you like, Jan?"
Yeah. I should have got that one. Bad job by me.
Yes. We should note the late Janet Arnott too.
Yeah.
Passed away in 2019. So that was your best round though, Scott, at 9 big points. So to recap, in the provincial representation category, you had 3, the event hosting category 4, 1 in potpourri, and then 9 in the name that champion. So overall, that is a score of 16 for you, Scott.
3 + 4 + 1 + 9?
3 + 4 + 1 + 9, yeah.
That's 17.
Oh, excuse me, it is 17. My apologies. I was forgetting that 1 point.
There you go. They always
I said it, but I didn't write it in sort of where I was doing the math. So yeah, 17 big points for Scott. If you beat him, please do let us know. If he beat you, I don't need to know about it. So you can reach out on that one. And that's going to do it for this week, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that one. Please do subscribe if you have not yet. Wherever you get your podcast, like, rate, comment, all that good stuff helps other people find the show, keeps us growing. Of course, you can head on over to Game of Stones Pod. All of our past episodes are there under the podcast tab. If you still don't really know who these teams are in the Scotties, we released our preview last week. So if you still need to know who they are, you got the full preview. All the teams we talk about there, plus everything else that we've ever recorded is available under the episode tab, and a link to the merch. We're on the socials at Game of Stones Pod, Game of Stones Podcast on Facebook. And if you want to let us know what you want to hear on the show, Game of Stones Podcast at gmail.com. Scott, there's a lot of curling on the TV. It's good to have it back on the TV with the Scotties. This is my favorite event of the year. So it's just, it's a good time. It's a lot. It's the start of, 10 days on, 4 days off, 10 days on, this cycle through Scotties, Briar, and the Two Worlds. But it means that there's curling on the TV. The days are getting longer. It's going to be warming up as well. This is sort of, spring training is going on. Yes, it's happening, Scott. It's all here.
It's all happening, Sean. You're right. Spring is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the groundhog said, but who cares? He's never right. And yeah, the Scotties, you've said it often that it's your favorite event on the calendar. I think for me too, what's so great about it is that, and going back, it was always the first one that was on.
Yeah.
After a long season of not watching curling. Now we're spoiled with streams and Grand Slams and stuff, but there was always something special, like, the Scotties is on. I used to, in university, take over the lounge in my residence and bring my pillow and my blanket and camp out there for days. Sometimes I would go to a different floor and people were like, what is that weird guy doing in that room? But I always invited everyone in and taught them a bit about curling. So yeah, Scotties, special, fun, enjoying it so far, and excited for the weekend.
Yeah, should be a great weekend of the playoff action, and we will be here to recap all the goings on from Thunder Bay next week. But until we chat with you then, enjoy the curling, and as always, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.
Make the final.